Hey everyone, I'm Dennis Stack.
And I'm Nate Fischer.
And we are Cinema Bus bringing you a brand new segment called Beer Goggle Reviews.
In this segment, really all we do is watch a very terrible movie and we drink a lot of beer, hoping that it might make it a little bit better.
Yeah, that's right. And after we watch the movie, we're going to come right back here and review it immediately.
Yeah. Right after, yeah.
And for this first episode, we're actually going to review The Room, this classically terrible movie from 2003.
Yeah.
If you've heard of it, you know the legend of it. So we got the movie.
And we got the beer.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Cheers. Little film. All right, so we watched the movie. We got plenty of alcohol in our system. So, Nate, let's start off. Let's talk about our previous experience with the movie. It's not our first time watching this.
No, I've seen this movie once all the way through. But okay. I've seen lots of clips, and I'll show like a friend a highlight reel who has never seen it before.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, you gotta watch this. So I'll go on YouTube and watch a highlight reel. So that's as much as I've seen of it. But I watched this movie for the first time about 5 years ago with a good friend of mine, and we had a riot through the whole thing. What about you?
Yeah, it was one of those things. Troll 2 has always been like my go-to, like so bad it's good movie.
This is the top two, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so like these movies kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And so when I brought up Troll 2 to a friend of mine, he's like, "Oh, have you ever seen The Room?" And I hadn't at that point. And so then I watched this, and it's just like, oh my God, how bad is this movie?
Yeah.
But having said that, I can appreciate this movie for not what it is as like what it's trying to be, but as what it is as what the final product is. And that's just a movie that's so bad. It's good. It's just entertaining as hell.
Let's talk about Tommy Wiseau. Like, let's talk about him. Like, what he is to this movie.
Yeah.
He is the heart of this movie.
Yeah, and I mean, for what the heart of this movie is, take it as you will, but I feel like he's one of those guys where it's like he had this big dream to make this movie.
Yeah.
And he knew what he wanted to do.
Okay.
But he just didn't do it.
I don't think he knew what he wanted to do.
I mean,
this guy doesn't want to make a movie.
I knew he wanted to make a movie.
Right.
I know he wanted to make it good. He had absolutely no idea how to do it. And
or
he took nobody's
research. Like, one thing to know about this is that he didn't know the difference between digital and film. So he set up a digital camera and a film camera right next to each other for every shot, just in case he wasn't sure which one would work, instead of just doing his research on what would work better. Like, this guy has no idea how to make a movie whatsoever.
No, and the script shows everything. Just like the clunky dialogue, like weird transitions from one scene to another. Yeah. And I mean, I get it. You look at the people who are in this movie and you look at their credits after this movie, there's next to nothing.
No, they're all bad actors.
Right.
But still, as bad actors, they're ashamed of this.
Even knowing that they weren't worthy of a movie better than this, they still knew that this movie was trash.
But I think that you're right that I found moments that there's highlights. There really is. In the world of cinema or movies or whatever, people know about this movie quite a bit.
Yes.
About how bad it is. And you know the highlights and the lines where you're all going to laugh at, like, that gets the biggest laugh. But still, this movie surprised me with some scenes where I was like, I forgot how stupid. There was a when he goes meet his therapist friend, I was like, this is probably the funniest part of the movie.
Right, and it's supposed to be like the serious, most dramatic part. And I think that just basically sums up this movie. Like, if you understand where they're trying to go with every scene, every bit of dialogue, where this movie is trying to go, and where it ends up, you're going to enjoy it. Just because you just know where they're supposed to go, but then they go here, and it's just hilarious just how bad it is. There is a drinking game based around this movie.
Totally.
And Nate and I basically played it. oh hi. Every time they mention the two characters are best friends, and every time Tommy Wiseau threw one of those little one of those laughs, yeah. And it's just you drink plenty throughout.
My future wife, my future husband is what we're talking about the whole time. Yeah. You drink at every single one of those times, and I guarantee you'll have a good time because you're gonna be drinking through this movie.
Exactly.
If you play with liquor, you're done for. Luckily, we were doing beer, and it was like fine.
Like we said, with the acting, the transitions, the lighting, the direction, the editing, everything in this movie is bad, except. I like the score. I mean, the score is kind of okay.
You like the original music to it?
I kind of do. It's just like, it's poorly placed in parts of this movie. But there are times just like when me and Nate were watching, I'm just like, doom, doom, doom.
This doesn't fit the mood very much.
Right. But I do like this little ditty. So
I mean, it is a little ditty. And you have to admire someone for actually taking the time to produce an original score for this piece of garbage where they're just like, well, I had to take it and... the score, I would say, probably is the most redeeming factor of, like, quality, at least.
Right.
It's 2003, so there's still that, like, 90s style that integrates itself into the film, They all have the baggiest of suits you'll ever see in your life for some reason. So many baggy suits.
A lot of 3 buttons. All right, Nate, so you and I have both seen this movie sober, and now we've both seen it a little less than sober, so I want to know, what's up? Is this movie better or worse with beer goggles on?
Oh, I would say it's better with beer goggles on, 100%. I really think this movie is just an experience to have, whether you're sober or not sober, but definitely drinking helps. The drinking game is always a very fun time as well. But it's just like, you're going to get a lot of laughs, but I think the best way to watch it is to have someone that has seen it, that is showing it to you if you haven't seen it yet. And that way you sort of get the idea of exactly what's going on with this movie. It's ridiculous. Definitely beer goggles.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. I mean, of course, if you are going to drink and watch this movie, we encourage you to be responsible. Drink and watch it at home. And if you're not at home, make sure you got a sober ride. I mean, don't be dumb with all this.
Of course.
But, I just love that this movie, if you can respect good filmmaking and how filmmaking as a process is supposed to go, to the point where you just notice obvious bad filmmaking, you're really going to enjoy this.
It's a crash course in bad filmmaking.
Yeah, in fact... Nate and I are really anticipating the release of The Masterpiece, which is like the docudrama almost of how this happened.
It's like the biopic kind of.
Right. Yeah. Written and directed by James Franco and just like...
Starring James Franco.
Exactly, as Tommy Wiseau. Yeah, I really, really can't wait for this, movie based on a real event.
Right, yeah, exactly. And speaking of biopics, 2 weeks from now, we're going to be reviewing Snowden. So our next week episode, check it out. And it's going to be the strongest, weakest Oliver Stone movies. So
yeah, exactly. Yes. I mean, Oliver Stone, he has a lot of experience with biopics, JFK, Born on 4th of July, W. So I'm really eager to see how he handles Edward Snowden's story.
Yeah, so am I. So definitely check out that episode coming next week.
And don't forget, guys,
there's no place like the theater.